Well, not quite 8 years. But what Yossi Ghinsberg endured in just 3 weeks alone in the depths of the Amazon rainforest is nothing short of miraculous. This is the harrowing, real-life tale of one man's will to survive against all odds, a journey that would forever change him and inspire countless others. In 1981, Yossi Ghinsberg was a young Israeli adventurer with a hunger for life and a thirst for the unknown. Fresh out of the military, he was drawn to the allure of distant lands and ancient mysteries. South America became his next destination, and Bolivia, with its uncharted jungles and promise of untouched wilderness, called to him like a siren song. He met Karl Ruprechter, an Austrian geologist who claimed to have discovered gold in the remote Beni River region of the Amazon. Ruprechter was planning an expedition into the jungle to stake his claim, and Yossi eagerly joined, along with Kevin Gale, an American teacher, and Dieter Plage, a German engineer. They were a mismatched group of dreamers and seekers, bound together by ambition and curiosity, but none of them were prepared for what lay ahead. The group set off from La Paz, heading deep into the Bolivian jungle. What began as a promising adventure soon turned treacherous. The dense vegetation swallowed them whole. Torrential rains flooded the rivers. Supplies dwindled, and the guides they had hired to lead them vanished without explanation. As conditions worsened, the group split up. Kevin stayed behind, too weak to continue. Dieter left with 2 local guides, hoping to find help. Yossi and Karl pressed on, but then Karl disappeared. One morning, he simply didn't return from scouting ahead. Alone, no food, no tools, no map, no way to call for help. Yossi Ghinsberg was stranded in one of the most dangerous places on Earth. The Amazon is not just a forest, it is a living, breathing entity, vast and indifferent. It does not care about your plans or your dreams. It only demands respect and often sacrifice. For 3 weeks, Yossi wandered through a world of green and shadow where time lost meaning and the line between reality and hallucination blurred. He drank from rivers thick with insects, ate strange fruits that sometimes made him violently ill, and slept in trees to escape jaguars whose eyes glowed in the dark. He fought off fever, despair, and the ever-present threat of death. Every sound was a predator. Every moment was a battle. But in the darkest hours, something inside him refused to give up. The will to live. What kept him going? Perhaps it was the memory of his mother's voice, whispering in his mind, "Don't give up." Or perhaps it was the knowledge that, if he gave in to fear, he would die. Yossi began to notice patterns, how the birds flew in certain directions at dawn, how the river always led somewhere. He learned to read the jungle, to trust his instincts. He followed the water, knowing it might be his only chance to find civilization. On the 20th day, exhausted and barely conscious, he stumbled upon a small hut by the riverbank. Inside, he found firewood signs of life. And soon after, he encountered a group of indigenous people members of the Machineri tribe, rarely seen by outsiders. They took him in, fed him, cared for him, and eventually led him to safety. When Yossi finally emerged from the jungle, he was a ghost of himself, emaciated, scarred, and haunted by what he had endured. But he was alive. Years later, he wrote about his experience in his memoir, Jungle, a harrowing true story of survival in the Amazon, which would become an international bestseller. In it, he described not just the physical struggle to survive, but the mental and emotional battles that raged within him. He also spoke of the lessons he learned about fear, resilience, the importance of mindset, and the thin line between giving up and pushing forward. Today, Yossi Ghinsberg is a renowned motivational speaker, sharing his story with audiences around the world. He speaks not just to adventurers, but to everyday people facing their own jungles, personal crises, professional setbacks, emotional struggles. His message is clear. You are stronger than you think. Even when all hope seems gone, the power to survive lies within you. While the headline may suggest a boy surviving 8 years in the jungle, a common misinterpretation fueled by sensationalism, the truth is even more powerful. 3 weeks. That's all it took for Yossi Ghinsberg to confront death, face his deepest fears, and discover the extraordinary strength of the human spirit. It's a reminder that we are capable of more than we believe, and that sometimes the greatest survival stories aren't about how long you endure, but what you learn about yourself while doing so. In the end, it wasn't the jungle that changed him. It was what he found within himself while lost in it.